Northam's BEE arm, that's Zambezi Platinum, listed on the JSE this morning. Lazarus Zim, he's the chairperson of Northam Platinum. He joins us this morning for more on that. Lazarus, thanks for your time. Congratulations on the listing.
Thank you very much.
But there is quite an intricate involvement, very, very complicated, if you'd like to say, between Northam Platinum and Zambezi Platinum. Just explain that to us.
Yes, indeed. It's a wonderful day. I'm glad to be here. What we sought to do was to find a mechanism to fund black economic empowerment by not using bank funding in this case, but in this case using shareholder funding. So essentially what's happening is that we've got rights issue, that all the shareholders of Northam have been sent letters of allocations so that they can be able to follow their rights. We are in the process of raising 4 billion rands from the shareholders, and then that 4 billion rands will be used to finance the empowerment scheme. Then over a 10-year horizon within which to repay the money. Now it will be in the form of a preference share, which is cumulative, and then there will be a bullet payment at the end of the 10-year period. This gives us a 10-year space so that we don't have to be subject to the fluctuations of the market over a 10-year period. But then what then happened was that once the funds came in, we would then list. So that's why we've listed Zambezi today, so that the shareholders then have the liquidity. They can come in and go out. The coupon rate in Zambezi is quite attractive, which is why a lot of the shareholders, I believe, are going to follow it. But of course, the transaction, the full 4 billion rands, is fully underwritten by PIC and Coronation.
Okay. Do you want to jump in?
No, I think, yeah, chatting to our platinum analyst, I mean, he was overwhelmingly positive on Northam and the whole scheme. I mean, he was one of the guys, I think, recommending that everyone follow their rights on that as well. I just maybe if I can ask you, I mean, obviously, you know, there's been a couple of acquisitions by Northam recently. I mean, you've had Everest, which has been renamed. I mean, what do you have in store for Northam's futures? I mean, future at least. I mean, with new shareholders now being able to access via this BE vehicle, what are the growth prospects of the company?
We're very bullish about the growth prospects. Firstly, we've got a strong balance sheet with over 4 billion rands of cash. In addition, we've got BE at 35%. So we're in a position to do value accretive acquisitions that would, even if there's need to do paper, to use paper, there is the scope. So Northam is a fully empowered vehicle which has the scope to grow by using M&As, using cash and paper. So I'm very, very excited about it. I'm not going to talk about the transactions or potential transactions. It's not my job to do.
Okay.
The CEO will do that. But some great things are in the horizon.
You priced at 41 Rand a share.
Yes.
So what are you expecting from today?
Well, one can never know what it's going to be. But the 41 Rand per share was really tied to the need to raise 4.6 billion rands. But we leave that to the market.
No, I think, yeah, particularly exciting. I mean, I think one of the stronger balance sheets in the platinum sector at the moment, no question, like you mentioned with that 4 billion war chest. I'd love to get some insight into where you're going to spend that, but I understand, of course, that you can't. Yeah, I think perhaps maybe more generally, I mean, you know, raising capital now, I mean, obviously a very successful capital raising, but I mean, the platinum sector is obviously in the doldrums, you know, going forward. I mean, are you expecting, I mean, it's an impossible question, but I mean, you'll be expecting big things. I mean, you're expecting a recovery in PGM prices? Yeah,
currently the sentiment is subdued because, you know, of what's happening in Europe, America, China and the rest of the world. But our expectations are that maybe for the next 3 years that would be so. But looking further, the world economy is bound to rebound at some stage, and when that does, people will start buying more jewelry, start buying more new cars, and of course then the demand for PGMs will grow. I would not foresee that in the next 10 years that there will not going to be
obviously Zambezi Platinum is the BEE arm. There's been a lot of commentary around BEE regulations, legislation. The DTI came out with new rules. Now they've been sent back to be reviewed. I would just like to get a sense from you. What do you make of all the developments that are happening around new BEE legislation when it comes to whether or not BEE schemes are enough versus individual ownership?
Firstly, let me say that there's always room for improvement in life. So if there's any refinement and improvement, one would welcome it. I have not really studied the text, the details of the text so far, because it's just come out. However, we have to bear in mind that we have a mining charter that is backed up by legislation that goes back 10 years, and that has a life of its own. it's going to be very important for regulatory certainty in the country that should remain in place and run out its life. And then, of course, down the line, if there are changes, there will need to be conversations between the stakeholders. But one cannot go with retroactive effect. That's my view. That what we have, because a lot of billions of, maybe hundreds of billions of rands have already been invested in the current framework as it is. So one would need to let it run its course.
Lazarus, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations once again on this deal and your listing. Thanks so much to Lazarus Zim. He's the chairperson of Northam Platinum and also the chairman-elect of Zambezi Platinum.